Ah, the Rockies, the outdoorsman's playground, the snow skier's paradise, one of the true great beauties of the West. This is God's country. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Spring ski season in Colorado is like spring break in the Florida Keys, except a little colder. People come from all over the world to experience the great wintry outdoors of one of America's true natural beauties. For some, it's home, like Isabel Brown. For others, it's a destination. Meet Benny Johnson and CJ Pearson. Let's see how their Colorado Rocky Mountain experience went.
So I want to start this video by stating definitively that if you are on the Olympic recruitment committee, I'm here with my boy CJ. We have both very successfully conquered the hill that you see right behind us.
Baby steps were taken today.
Yeah,
Baby
all the
steps.
way up and we went all the way down.
We did.
All right?
We did.
It was dangerous. It was life-threatening at times.
It was. There were times where I almost felt that I was going to die, but it's
Yeah.
all about perseverance. It's all about that. And that's what we did. We persevered and we conquered today.
It's all about the children, which are the other people who are skiing with us. So we're very proud of ourselves, and we're ready for the baby Olympics.
Yeah, this is my first time out here skiing. You got Benny out here with a bum ankle. Honestly, the fact that we were even able to make it up there, I think goes a long way. I won't mention the fact that I fell off the lift as soon as it touched down, but still, I got back up. That's what America's gonna do, Benny. America's gonna get back up. And why are they gonna get back up, Benny?
They're gonna get back up because Americans don't quit.
We don't.
No.
We don't. We go up the highest of hills, the lowest of valleys, and guess what? We get back up every single time because that's what America's all about. So going out here, conquering things you never thought you could conquer, doing things you've never done before, and just going out and killing the game because that's what we do as patriotic Americans who bleed red.
Hey, look at this. That's the skier that's been challenging us all day.
Yeah, he's absolutely been killing us.
He's been trash talking us. We're gonna get him.
We're gonna go up there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We got his number.
After a fun day on the slopes, skiers head for their ski cabins to warm up, enjoy dinner, and have conversation with good friends by the fireside.
I was skiing today, guys.
It was awesome.
It's wild.
CJ, your first time?
First time out on the slopes, it was crazy. In the beginning it was a little rocky, but when you have a master ski instructor like Isabel Brown, you figure it out. And like that last run, no falling, straight down.
You did great
It was wild.
there at the
It
end.
was wild.
You had a whole cheering squad too.
I know.
The bottom.
It helped me. Gave me the perseverance to get back up.
Why didn't you give up when that first run? Because how many times did you fall?
Oh, too many times. I lost count. Like, it was so bad. But I don't know. I just felt like I had to do it. Benny's out here with a sprained ankle. I couldn't let him show me up at anything, especially not at that. So I had to get back up. If he was up, I had to get back up. So
It's that sweet mustache energy, Jeff.
it is. It is. It does something to you. It unleashes something inside.
That's right. That's very true.
Is that Benny? Oh my gosh, it's Benny! What's up, Benny? Welcome to Colorado,
Can you do
man.
this? What's going on, Jeff? How you doing?
Good to see you, dude.
Hello friends. How are you? This is Airport Benny, okay? This is a hard to collect Pokemon. Airport Benny, okay? Maskless Airport Benny. Let's see if I get tackled here for having my mask on.
Jared Paulus will come tackle you.
That's right. Tackle me, give me a copy of the Communist Manifesto, lock me up in the underground layers where they keep all the lizard people.
You know your DIA facts.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, awesome,
Fresh mountain
man.
air.
Welcome.
What's up?
We
It's
got CJ.
Very good. How you been? Wow. CJ has a mustache now. You
Yeah,
would know that.
I noticed that
That's what
too.
the mask is covered up. For guys who can't grow facial hair like me, the mask allows me to try and grow facial hair.
It helps the process.
Danny in from Iowa, how'd it feel to be back in Colorado?
It was less flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what these big white things are all over the place. But it was great. I love being in Colorado. It's free out here, and I hope Colorado stays that way. Western individualism is something that Isabel mentioned earlier today, and I could not agree more. It is something that must be preserved. Like that is the encapsulated, quantifiable spirit of America captured in these wonderful states. And if you lose that, you've kind of lost Americanism, in its proper sense. You travel to someplace like Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and you realize that that's alive and well, but it's something precious to be preserved.
Yeah, it is unique. You grew up in Colorado.
I did. It's home. Fun to be home.
Fun to be back.
Yeah.
You get to show off the state a little bit.
I did, yes. The best parts of it, which was very fun.
What do you like about Colorado?
Colorado is special in so many ways, and I think it's beautiful. We all take that for granted sometimes, but it's just unbelievably gorgeous physically. There's so much opportunity out west with that piece of individualism like we were talking about, but the people are just so special. It's very rare to go somewhere and 15 minutes into a hike be best friends with somebody that you've never met because you know each other's entire life story at that point, or encourage each other to embrace adventure and try new things and really get out of your comfort zone. That's so unique to not only the West, but especially Colorado. And I think it's that spirit that's really driving our country forward and the Western world, and this idea of doing something daring and different. We've always been that way as a state, and my hope is that that continues for generations.
Yeah, the spirit of the West is important to America. It feels like we're losing it, especially here in Colorado. California was a Western state. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like something
right.
Andrew Cuomo could be running or something like that.
Well, we won't be running much of anything anytime soon. So
By the time this gets aired.
yeah.
What's happening to the West?
We're losing our identity, I think, and we're okay with being the group. We're okay with being the mob and being identified as Black Americans or females or as white guys, as for lack of a better word. But that spirit of individualism, of pushing the boundary, of daring to be different from society is very quickly being erased from our culture all across this country, not just in the West. But I think we're seeing it so much more dramatically affecting our state here in Colorado and places like Wyoming and Montana and California, which used to have a very similar culture to ours because of our unique ability to be different and to embrace that individualism before 2021.
And everyone here at this table probably has 36 stories of this, of a Californian that we know that woke up one morning and said, why? Why am I living in a tyranny state? Why is my local bar where I hang out with my friends and the sports fields that my children play at and the grocery store that I want to shop at and my business, why is it all closed? And that, the answer to that is quite clearly tyranny. Say what you wish about the coronavirus. It came from abroad. It came from China. However, the policies that have destroyed America came from America. And so let's put blame where the blame lies. And if given the opportunity and or the excuse, the crisis, to become the tyrants they wish to be, then they became them. It's a great quote. I don't know who to attribute it to, but if you want to see the true measure of a man, give him power. And these men and women across our country were given power, and you were able to see who the tyrants were and who the free people were.
CJ, do you think that the younger generations would be willing to trade freedom for security?
I don't think so. I think what you see across the country happening right now has showed people how easily it is to lose our freedom and how easily it is to lose our liberty. And I think it's made people a lot more aware of how important it is for us to be vigilant. I think before this time, before COVID, before this pandemic, a lot of people grew really complacent. We had Donald Trump in the White House, we controlled Congress, we were on top of the world. We took that for granted. We forgot that there might be a time where we're not in power anymore, we're not in control anymore, where our freedoms aren't as free, where our liberties aren't as ever present. And what we're seeing from states like California, from states like New York, is that freedom is something to them that's bargainable. They give it to us when they feel as if we deserve it. They give it to us when they feel as if we deserve to be rewarded, but it's something they can take away at any time. And I think that young people today like to be free. I think that's what makes us young. I think that what makes us rebellious is that we want to be free.
For conservatism to work, for limited government to work, you have to have a moral and religious people. You have to have strong families.
That's right.
It goes back to the founders. They said that our Constitution only works for moral and religious people. It's wholly inadequate to any other. Can that be sustained in America? Can that be sustained, especially with the next generation? Are we going to have moral people? Are we going to have religious people? Are we going to have people that start families and keep government limited? Or are we going to rely more and more upon government to provide all of our needs?
What's the number one question to determine whether you are a liberal? Whether you are actually a liberal in the vein of Marx, in the vein of Lenin, in the vein of National Socialists in Germany. That's the term, National Socialists. Hitler was a socialist. Don't let them rewrite history. Don't let them misinterpret what the German word was. Mussolini's Italy or communist China. If you are a leftist in the vein of those countries, there's a single question that determines that. You should run for your life from these people if they answer yes to this question. Here's the question. Do you wish to control another person? If you say yes, if you close your eyes and you think about it and you go, yes, because I know what I'm talking about and people would be better if they just listened to me. Then yes, you are a liberal in the form, you are a vicious communist, you love Karl Marx, and you are bound for destruction. You do not deserve the inheritance of an American birthright, in my personal opinion. And it's a tough thing to say. Pretty positive guy. But that is the question, man. What time in American history has living a healthy life meant locking yourself in your house, eating takeout Chinese food, not working out, and not seeing other human beings and laughing and enjoying time with other human beings? Like, that is a recipe for death, not life. And if you wish to control someone, that's a recipe for death. And we've seen it throughout history, time and time again. You don't even have to go back to the ancient Egyptians or the Mongols. You just look at the last 100 years of human history. The people who wish to control another human being, who wish to limit your freedom, they are the evil ones. This goes back to biblical days.
Yeah.
Like, people who wished to control you in the time of Christ, like, those were the evil people. And Christ came to fight against them.
Well, that's the story of God's relationship with us, too. Like, the definition of a biblical, unconditional love is giving other people their autonomy and their freedom, even if it doesn't line up with your desires.
God's a God of free will. He gave us dominion over this earth, the ability to make decisions on our own. He gave us commandments, but outside of that, he said, live your life as you please, but try to glorify me. Go glorify me. And I think so when these people who have this God complex in leftism, they think they have this God complex, but it's nothing like the God we serve. I think the God that we serve tells us to go out, live the life that we choose, be a reflection of him. But outside of that, he gave us the dominion and the autonomy over our choices to go live the life that we want to live. That's right. But the left doesn't want that. When you look at civics in this country, for example, only 10 states across the country require students to get a year worth of civics. To learn how their government even works, what freedom even is, the history of our nation. The reason so many young people reject our nation's founding and the values that underlie it is because they don't know a single thing about our nation's founding. They don't know about those values. They don't know about those ideals that our founding fathers had. And so a part of me is like, we need to save young people, not necessarily from the left, but from their own ignorance, right? Because it's by design. The left wants young people to be clueless and ignorant and to not know about where our country came from so that they can dictate where our country goes.
Yes.
Because if you don't tell people and instruct young people and teach them that America was the greatest experiment in human history that ever happened. It was the result of courageous people who decided that we would not be slaves in our own country. We would run towards liberty, run towards freedom, and that we would chase it, secure it, and we would never let it go. And why are we letting it go today? It's because we didn't learn about the struggles that people before us worked so hard to go through so that we could enjoy the country we live in today. That's why people give up their freedom. That's why people give up their liberty. But you go to places like Texas, you go to places like Florida, people flock there because it's a free place, a place where you can be you, where you can create good things, where you can go chase freedom, where you can be free, where you can wear a mask if you want to, but if you don't have to. Where you can go eat with your buddies, go drink a Coors Light.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like that is the American dream.
That's right.
And the thing about it is the left can try so hard to remake the American dream, but they're not gonna win, and they're not gonna win because there are people, contrary to what they might believe in their small, echo-chambered environment, there are still people out here who actually love America. It's not a bad thing.
My man.
It's not a bad thing.
That's exactly right.
What do conservative leaders need to do to reach and mobilize younger audiences? We're seeing conservatives rise up out of younger generations to take leadership in this in the conservative movement. It's no longer kind of the old school conservative movement of George W. Bush or John McCain or Mitt Romney. It's changed. I think we could all agree it's changed. So what do you guys see on the front lines of conservatives coming up out of the younger generations? What are they doing differently? And what do conservative leaders need to do to help lead the next generation? Now, it's very important for me to say we're 501c3 nonpartisan organizations. This isn't about particular parties or elections or winning particular elections, but it is about conservative worldview versus liberal worldview. So what are you seeing coming out of the next generation when it comes to the leadership of the conservative movement?
You asked what are people doing differently.
Yeah.
I think the answer is everything. And it boils down completely to the wisdom of Andrew Breitbart that politics is downstream from culture. For so long, the right side of the aisle has treated politics as this button-up, very establishment, elitist industry with perfectly crafted speeches and beautiful vocabulary, and you turn it on your TV every 4 years during presidential debates, every year during the State of the Union, and that's about it. It boiled down to who you were making phone calls for and who you went to the ballot box to cast your vote for. That was all conservatism centered around. And that's how the left became the titan of industry for every industry in the United States. We broke down entertainment, education, large corporations, business in this country. Now, obviously, our federal government as well, because they get it. People act upon the things that they're passionate about. And you can't expect people who don't grow up in the elitist bubble of establishment politics to feel connected to that in a very primal, instinctive way. Culture is everything when it comes to driving human behavior, not in a control way, but encouraging people to take ownership of the things that they're passionate about and let that drive the future of policy in this country. And I think all of that boils down to doing one thing, and it's very easy, whether you're making memes or you're speaking on college campuses or you're going on Fox News or you're having a conversation like this one. And all it means is to tell the truth. That's it. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science. You got two scientists on this couch. We've probably taken much more difficult classes in academia than what we get to do every day today. And that's just tell the truth to people through humor, through honesty, through integrity. And that's how we win this fight, even when it seems like everything is stacked against you. When all the cards are stacked against you, there's no hope for you to win this fight. That boils down to biblical truth too. And as Christians, we believe truth has a name, and it's Jesus. He is the way, the truth, the life. And when you're daring to be countercultural, which we know telling the truth is through Scripture, this world is going to hate you and revile you. It says that repeatedly through the New Testament from the words of Jesus himself. When you dare to tell the truth, you can win whatever battle you fight, even if it's not in your own lifetime. David and Goliath, Paul evangelizing throughout Europe, the story of Jesus himself. It's always been humble individuals with no chance whatsoever to win when it comes to telling truth that are able to make the biggest impact in history. And we believe that as Christians, that in the end we will win. Even if it seems crazy and the world gets worse every single day,
Amen.
even if it's not in our lifetime, we will win. And all of that boils down to culture and telling people the truth everywhere, outside of presidential debates, outside of the State of the Union, in a language that people can understand, online, on campus, in simple conversations, through memes even.
Amen.
You got to get rid of this idea that politics is for the elite because culture is for everybody.
Jesus would love memes.
Yes, he would.
I don't say that flippantly though. Think about it. What was Jesus' preferred way of getting his point across? Story.
Parables, yeah, stories.
We don't tell good stories. As a movement, we need to tell better stories. Our stories are better than the left stories. Our stories are the best stories. And why don't we tell them better? Jesus spoke in stories. That's how he communicated. Don't tell me that you know something better. He created man. He created us. And he created the way our brains work. And he used stories. It wasn't given the opportunity to do whatever, draw, given the opportunity to tell a story, to communicate truth, he used stories.
As we close here, final messages to young people that are looking to you for your leadership in this country, your spiritual leadership as well. How do you encourage them? What do they need to do to make a difference in their community?
Yeah, I think it's having the belief that and knowledge that there are so many more people like you than you know. There are so many people in your corner who share the values that you do, the ideals that you do, and the love for this country that you do. You look at TV, you see America being demonized on every single channel by so many people, and you feel as if you're alone. You feel as if you're in a corner and that you really don't have anyone out there who can really empathize with where you are at and where you and what you believe. The reality of it is that there are actually a lot of people who share your convictions, who come from a place just like you, who believe that America is a country worth fighting for. And I think that that's the biggest hurdle that you have to overcome as a young conservative, is the ability to want to be courageous. Finding that bravery inside of you, unlocking potential within you to really realize that you could really be someone who changes the course of human history, who changes the course of our country, who gives hope in a time where there's a lack of it, who has belief in a God and faith when people are struggling to find it. And I think that that's the thing that so many young people, I think, need to know. When I started off in politics, I was 11 years old, and I had the audacity to believe that people would listen to an 11-year-old boy about politics. And I made a video, and people did, because it came from the heart. I love this country. I didn't like what certain liberal policies were happening in this country that redistributed wealth, that punished people for being successful. I thought that was a part of the American dream. Even at 11, 12 years old, I thought that was the American dream. I thought that's what we fought so hard to preserve and fight for.
Jeff, I think you really hit the nail right on the head with the fact that every person has a unique purpose in this life. And we've abandoned that purpose by abandoning a call to action in the church, in politics, and in our society today. And young people in particular are taught constantly that they're this big in the world, that the world is so overwhelming, it's impossible to deal with. You as an individual will never, ever make a big enough difference to change the world. And that might be true, to change the whole world as one person, but I think we forget you can change the world for one person at a time. And I know there's a lot of young people, especially in Colorado, listening to this. A few years ago, I attended this conference as a college student with no following, no access to being on cable news all the time or having a daily show with Turning Point USA or working with incredible people like this. And it's a true testimony to the fact that when you embrace your unique purpose that God has put in your path, whatever that looks like, and it might not look like what we do every day, you will change the world for one person at a time by inspiring people with that courage, even if it's something as little as raising your hand in your college classroom or daring to post a video on social media that people said should never have been posted, or that you're going against history and you're on the wrong side of things for doing. Your voice matters as an individual, and that's the real difference between the left and the right. The left identifies you as a group, always. They tack on identity labels to you, and they see you as a subject of the dominion of the world. Conservatives love individuality, and there may be 8 billion of us on this planet, But I believe that you were created as an individual to contribute something unique to this movement, to the church, to our society, and to our world every day. I'm told all the time when I speak across the country, particularly from older groups, that I am too young, that at 23 or at 18, conservatives don't have enough life experience to contribute to the movement and to encourage other people to get involved. But from the very foundation of this country, America has relied on young patriots with a vision for the future, with a hope for the next generation, speaking up and getting involved in the process. I couldn't tell you the exact ages of every founding father, but I just gave a speech to many of our high school chapters this week. And the vast majority of our founding fathers who wrote and signed the Declaration of Independence were 18, 20, 21, 23, and Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the whole gosh darn thing, was 33 years old. There has never been a more crucial time for young
for
people
33-year-olds.
to embrace.
What up? Okay.
All right, I'm
Don't
not
mind
saying
me.
any
I'm just gonna go write the next Declaration of Independence.
I don't think a meme could be the next. I'm just
Declaration
kidding.
from libs.
Shots fired. Oh
Meme
my
of independence.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
The
meme.
meme
yeah.
of independence. Okay, that's something.
Hold on.
That is something.
Okay.
You might want to write that
Modern
down.
day,
how much
modern
we
day
got?
Yeah, a
Declaration.
bit.
All right, I'll be really quick. You want a tangent? Here's my tangent. It should have been a meme. The Department of Memes would be so powerful. It would
My
be. We would never
gosh.
have to fire another missile into Syria, Joe Biden. Listen to me. Hear me out. The Department of Meme Warfare. All you have to do is make weapons grades memes and tweet them at Kim Jong-un. He'll give up his nukes like right away.
There
He'd be
you go.
so embarrassed. And then everyone likes it. Like the Prime Minister of England's like, oh. Like it's funny meme. He's like clown. He's sitting on the top of his nuclear warhead and it goes boom. Right? It's like we used to do this. We did this during World War II, where we clowned on the
true,
Axis
actually.
leaders. We
That's a
made
very good
Disney
point.
and Warner Brothers made movies that clowned on and
Yep.
humiliated the Axis leaders. Those were memes. Like those were early memes. Cartooning and meming is an art form and
Yes.
a powerful one. I'm telling you right now, if Donald Trump had the Department of Meme Warfare, because Biden would never do it, Department of Meme Warfare, put Benny, your boy Benny, right in charge. I volunteer. I'll be the first Secretary of Memes, and I would meme the Ayatollah to death. I mean, I don't want him to kill himself, but I would that guy would give up. He'd put it on the take the turban off. He'd go home. He'd wax his beard. He'd move to South Beach. He'd be done.
South Beach.
He'd be done. I would make memes that would make that guy get on a bicycle, okay, in South Beach and sell mangoes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? Meme warfare. Think about it.
All right, so our methods have changed a bit.
So you
since
could have memed King George. That's all I'm saying, Tom.
quill on paper to memes now, but it's a good point, honestly. And this call to
brain
action
has
has remained the
serotonin
same. It's remained the
There you
same
go.
forever. We need young patriots involved in the fight. And that's gonna look different for every single person. So you don't have to be Benny Johnson 2.0 or CJ Pearson 2.0 or Isabel Brown 2.0. Be you and share your unique perspective in this, and any one of you watching this video could be us.
You brought it up in this conversation. Rebelliousness, counterculture, being punk rock. There is nothing punk rock or counterculture about doing what every corporation tells you to do. When every corporate board in America and every Hollywood actor and actress and every Grammy award-winning singer and songwriter all think the same thing, you're not punk rock if you just parrot them. If you say the same thing, that's not cool. Jesus was punk rock. Punk rock is like walking up to a corrupt system and dunking on it. And like just straight up calling them out and doing it through truth and simplicity. You could say a meme, a parable, call it what you will. Conservatives have that beautiful inheritance that we don't do that. We are the rebels. And the more they take over our corrupt and rotted institutions, the bigger this beast gets of just this lethargic, we call it NPCs in the meme world. An NPC is a non-playable character. It's an entire meme based on the fact that leftists don't think, they just regurgitate. If you're a young conservative, you're punk rock. You are deeply cool because you are a free thinker, a rebel in the caste of Christ. If you are a young Christian and you are a young conservative, you are following these beautiful footsteps of Jesus himself, who stands up against evil systems and fights. And you should embrace that tradition.